Hey guys, what is up? Array Mage here, doing another World of Tanks 360 beta review. Today we're going to be starting up on the American medium tank line. We're going to be starting at Tier 7 at the American T20. I will work my way back once I get to the M48 Patton, and I'll start down at the T2 medium and work my way up to the Jumbo Sherman, but today we're going to start it off with the American T20. This is a tank that is like the other Tier 7 medium in this game, the German Panther. It's not a very complete tank. It's a good tank, but it's not a complete tank. There's always a little quirk that keeps the two Tier 7 mediums from being outstanding tanks. In the case of this tank, its armor thickness. It does not have very thick armor. However, it makes up for it with two unique, peculiar abilities that really just set it apart from the Panther 1 and really make it, stand out as a good tank. In the case of the T20, it's a low-profile tank. This is not a tall tank. It doesn't stand out like the Panther 1, for example. The Panther 1, you can see it's a much higher silhouette target. It's easier to hit. Whereas the T20, it's lower to the ground, and it's very impressive. And it has very good gun selection. The gun you go with on this tank is undisputably the 90mm gun, but we're going to go ahead and talk about the packages now on this tank, because this is the bread and butter of this tank. Now, in its stock form, which I'm showing you right here, it is not all that impressive. You are using the, let me double check. You're using the 76mm M1A1 gun, which isn't horrible, but it's okay. The strength of the 76mm M1 series, M1A1 and the M1A2, is its rate of fire. It is not a gun that is going to change the course of a battle. It's not going to change the outcome of a match. It's a gun that's a very good supporting gun. It can help out with the T29s. It can help out with the more heavier upgun T20s and Pershings. This is not a bad gun, so to speak. You just don't want to be fighting someone straight up with it. You want to catch them on their flanks. This tank has a... pull up the rest of the details on it. Will it let me pull it up? Alright, as you can see here, 520 horsepower engine. There's the 76mm M1A1 gun. There's your tracks and your turrets. It's not a very impressive tank starting off, but you want to get to here. You want to get to the second package where you'll at least get the M1A2 gun. You will at least get a better set of tracks, and there's your difference, obviously. You can tell it's a different gun, obviously. But not a gigantic difference, but it helps the tank. It gives it a chance. M1A2 obviously has believe the same penetration, and it has a higher rate of fire, so you're going to be able to pump out more rounds. This is not a bad flanking tank at this point in the game. That is how you want to use it. You want to scout, passive scout, but your main objective with this tank is to get to here. You want to get to here. You want to get that 550 horsepower engine. You want to get the 90mm M3. You want to get the new tracks, and you get a new turret. That turret is very important. Gives you a higher view range. This tank becomes... It almost transforms into being a very good tank that can snipe a little bit, but its main strength is its ability to passively scout in this game. The 90mm gun makes it into a deadly flanker. This is a tank that will surprise most. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to some gameplay. I'll catch you right back here in a few seconds. Okay guys, here's the gameplay. I did start it a little bit in the middle, and that was more in the interest of time, but this was a typical Tier 7 matchmaking. I think there may have been a Tier 8 or 2 in here, but this was otherwise good matchmaking. Now, the way the T20, the way you want to play it, obviously, is you sort of want to creep up a little bit at a time. And there was something in the first part I didn't talk about. Because of how low this tank is, not only is it a harder target to hit, it's also harder to spot. This tank can be tricky in some cases to deal with. In many cases, if you've been in a match where you know the enemy team has T20s, if you're pushing up and you know there are no light tanks left on the enemy team, you know they're all dead, and you keep sitting there thinking, every time you got spotted or a detection notice, or back when the game had 6th Sense, you probably are sitting there saying, what the hell is spotting me? chances are it was a T20 doing it. And that's basically all you have to do in a T20. You want to creep up a little bit, and you basically want to spot enemy tanks that way. And because you're so low to the ground, you're such a hard target to see and detect, you can get away with that. For instance, right here in the middle of this ridge, I can creep up, and I can get a lot of detections, a lot of spots. Now, my team does lose in this match, and that's mostly because not everybody was doing their job. Artie was doing his job. I was doing my job. I mean, that's how you want to play this tank. You want to passively scout, and you want to snipe. You basically want to get flanks on people. I know I can't hurt that Tiger 2. I don't even think I take a shot at him. I didn't even bother with him. But you can see, you can get a lot of detections. And when this match ends, you'll see the end results screen, and I get 8 detections. Now, that would have been scout duty medal. I would have got that just because of how good this tank is at spotting other tanks. It's very effective, and the 90mm gun can surprise most people. Here I popped this enemy T20 for about 270 damage, nice damage output. The 90, such a great gun. It is outstanding. It is everything most German medium tank drivers would love to have at tier 6, 7, and maybe partly through the way up to tier 8. I mean, it's just the L56 doesn't have the penetration that this gun has. Now, as for this tank, the main problem with it, and just like with the Panther 1, there is something that holds it back, keeping it from being a perfect tank. And its main problem is very thin armor. In many ways, I guess you could almost say it's the American VK30 almost. You have no armor in this tank, but like the VK30, it is fast. Like the VK30, it has a pretty good accurate gun. In the case of this tank, it is the 90mm gun, but what sets it apart is it is a great passive scouting tank. And as you can see here, there's at least 4 other teammates sitting here in the middle. I mean, that had more to do with why we lost more than anything. Everybody wanted to sit up on the ridge and try to snipe. You know, part of that's inexperience. Part of that is just plain stupidity. I don't know. I mean, you know, I can understand the T29s not wanting to get up there. I mean, hey, they're going up against Tiger 2s, but just pitiful. Inexperienced players. I mean, that's the bad thing about some of these specialized events where you get 5 times XP. You got guys that are getting into higher tier tanks early, and they basically just don't know what they're doing when they're playing. And you know, that's had more to do with why we lost more than anything. But the way you play this tank, as I said, you primarily want to scout. As I'm doing here, passive scouting. You poke up, back up. Don't do anything dumb. Don't try and stand your ground. Just get your detections, your spots, and back up. Do the artillery and the tank destroyers and the heavy tanks a favor. You basically are going to be a boon to your team doing that. As for equipment, I do think there is some essential equipment. After that, you can pretty much run whatever you feel is necessary. Because of this tank's passive scouting role, you should consider coated optics. You should consider the binocular telescope. Those are really your only options when running this tank. I mean, those are the only essential pieces of equipment you have to have that on this tank. You are just too valuable as a passive scouting tank not to have that equipped on your tank. After that, it's up to you. You could run the medium caliber gun rammer. I decided on medium caliber gun rammer and ventilation, mostly because I wanted some balance out of this tank. I wanted to have a quicker reload, and I wanted to get better performance out of my crew, whether that be spotting, repairs, and the loading of the weapon, and just overall better tank performance. But some could run the camouflage net on this tank, and it wouldn't be a bad option. You would embrace that stealth role even more. And this tank is very stealthy. It will surprise most people. It just catches so many players off guard how quick this tank is, and just how good of a tank it is spotting. So, like I said, guys, do not pick a fight in this tank. If you are picking fights, be sure you're doing it with some help. You do not want to be standing your ground trying to fight off Panther 1s. You just don't have the armor. You have the gun. You have great view range. You are going to be an asset to your team. Just don't be dumb and try and stand your ground with somebody. You're going to get obliterated. You just don't have the armor. Like I said, it's very similar to a VK30, so the play style is almost reminiscent, but you are just so much more dangerous as a spotter, and really, the 90mm gun is an effective sniping gun. Anyways, guys, this gameplay is coming to an end, so I hope you guys enjoy. Quick little update. I will be doing a live comm next week. The next review should be the Tier 8 Pershing, so that'll be fun. I can't wait to do the M26 Pershing. Had a lot of fun with that medium tank. So if you guys are waiting on that, that will be coming up next. Might do a live comm. Haven't made up my mind yet, but anyways, guys, that's the channel update, and this is the T20. I hope you guys enjoy. Please leave comments and suggestions in the comment section below, just so I can improve this tank. I will also be doing a commentary mostly for the Array Core channel, describing and really just giving you guys a better understanding of how and why the reviews are done the way they are in this beta. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.